last wrap up, there's two things that I want to circle back to. One is Supernatural just got acquired by Facebook, so I do want to bring that up as another game.
Yeah.
It's I don't know what we're calling games these days. It's almost like games are turning into their own entities, where they're more a hub for this type of experience rather than a game. But it just wraps us, ending up the gaming conversation. Gaming Showcase is coming in 2022, so that might be where we're getting more games. But the discussion on the Oculus Quest platform being a gaming platform first versus what we saw from Facebook Connect, that kind of brought us back to that beginning conversation I said we go back to later. Between Supernatural getting purchased, a gaming showcase coming in 2022, which might show us more of their gaming ideas. Is the future of Meta going to be gaming as the main pillar, the tentpole, or is it going to be something else? And we'll leave that tentpole to Sony, maybe Microsoft, Nintendo. You'll have your gaming consoles, your gaming VR consoles, and then maybe the tentpole of Meta is not gaming anymore.
I think you hit the nail on the head. I think watching the Facebook Connect presentation, at least I walked away saying, okay, Facebook's focus going forward is less gaming. Sure, they're going to support gaming. Sure, gaming is what kind of proved VR, as a capable device, which is a great route to go. But yeah, I think that's going to be like a much smaller pillar in their goals that they're aiming for. Yeah, they'll support it, but I feel like the higher end titles, the stuff that I want to play, will be on PlayStation VR 2. And then next year we'll see a new product from Pimax and hopefully something from Valve. Yep. So they will specialize in gaming, and Oculus will do mobile gaming. Yep. That's what I think the direction will be.
Someone made the comment when I tweeted about my thoughts on that. I'm thinking, Facebook and Apple, and there's other companies, but I'm gonna put those two first. Their ceiling is going to be much higher with the mindset that they're going with, where other companies will dominate gaming, like Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo. Although I know those three might not be the same, but the drift is you have gaming centric and your others. And someone made the comment that you do realize that Apple makes more on mobile gaming than like all three of those put together. Revenue is not what we're talking about here. The money they made, you bought a PlayStation 5 for a certain type of experience.
Yeah.
You're never going to get that on your cell phone, but they don't care. They're not targeting that. If you want your PlayStation 5 type of experiences, you're going the console route, and you're going to have to look at either Xbox, PlayStation, PC, or Nintendo. That's what you're looking at right now with fringe others, but that's what you're going for that type of console experience. I don't see Facebook, I don't see Apple, I don't see Google caring to go that route ever, because they don't want to compete with that.
That's actually a great argument, because you can look at it as two sides of a coin. Who's the best at gaming? And a lot of people might say, oh, Sony has the best exclusives, or, I like Microsoft because of XYZ. No, Nintendo, it's mobile. Whatever the case may be, they have their different angles. But just like you said, they specialize in gaming. And you could say, well, okay, the quality of game is so much higher. But on the other side, like you said, Apple makes so much more money in mobile gaming. But enthusiast gamers will sit there and laugh at mobile games. That's kind of... It's like going out for a fancy meal or filling up on candy type of deal. And the candy industry sells billions of dollars in candy each year. Yeah, but it's like this superficial, not really fulfilling type of experience.
Yep.
So yeah, I do gravitate towards this side. I do want that higher end gaming experience. And like we started this, this little piece here, I don't think we're going to see that as much from the Quest and Facebook going forward.
It doesn't mean we're not going to get great games. Like when we say this, it doesn't mean we're not getting great games from Apple or Facebook. But that's not the tent pole. That's not the pillar of everything. I kind of see, when I look at Apple and Facebook and how they've operated already, and I have what Facebook Connect has to go off of. I don't have much for Apple, but I go off just how I've seen things happening over the past with them. They're looking at people who want to use XR devices a lot, they're going to use it as one of their primary technological tools, and they will own or provide ownership of everything within that. So if you decide to use their headset, you're buying products through that, you're making money through that, you're doing your meetings through that, you are gaming through that, you're doing everything. They own that ecosystem. Whereas others like Sony, I don't think they're ever going to go that route. I think they're going to provide a really great headset with really great games. It's targeted to gamers. And they're just two different products.
Yeah, I mean, Meta is aiming to make VR the new, compute unit.
Yes, which they've said forever. They've said that forever.
They want it to be the new cell phone. A device you have with you that you use for basically everything. Is it the best experience? No, we wouldn't want to edit a video on a cell phone. We wouldn't want to we wouldn't want to shoot like high-end stuff on a cell phone, even though, to some regard, it's good enough. They want to make VR just like that, where you can use it for basically everything. I just think, and John Carmack spoke about this, is the user friction. Like he said, just something as simple as turning on your headset, having to redraw your Guardian space every time, which I constantly do, and then having to click through a few screens and waiting 30 seconds for like icons to pop up is too much. Imagine if you had to do that with your phone every time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you're right. If I had to, I wouldn't use my phone like not even close to as much as I use it now. If I had this 30 to 60 second hurdle every time I picked it up.
Yep.
So yeah. Use
but
it.
But I want someone to tackle that problem. Now they may never solve it. They might not. And it might not be what I ever want to use. Like if they solve it, like their version of it, it might be a product I never want to use. Like that's fully possible. But someone has to try that because that is a dream of many people. Like that's the XR dream to some people. Like some people, they only want gaming, but others want to have it for everything.
I think to get there, the technology has to come a really long way. Like we really have to move into sci-fi space, like something like Black Mirror, where like you put a little knob on your head and you can get a visual experience, or a contact lens you could put in your eye that gives you a visual experience. I mean, that's way too far ahead. But for us to make this realistic and to get rid of the user friction, you do need something as simple and lightweight as like a pair of glasses. And that you could just slide on. But at the same time, they have so many things to tackle. Like, how do you get a computing unit in something as small as glasses?
5 millimeters.
And as you know, we need something decently powerful. And then the next question is, well, how do you power that device? Like, we know the size of the battery we're using for the Quest right now. That's not something that's really going to pop into, like, eyeglasses. So there are some real, technological burdens. And of course, there's software that I would say is the biggest stepping stone right now. Like they really need to streamline software to optimize and make the experience as best as possible. And then move on to hardware, which is Carmack's direction.
Hit that subscribe button to stay on top of the daily clips, or catch the debates and fireside chats live on the main channel down in the video description. See you next time, Space Cowboys.